Hey guys, Shannon here with Got to Go Prepared. Welcome back. I had someone ask me a while back because I mentioned in a video a trapping kit or bag, and so I wanted to answer that and respond to it by going through what I put in that bag. Now this bag is a surplus bag. Of course, as you know me, I'm going to find something and turn it into something else, or use it for something else and get a good price on it. I only buy retail when I have to and want something that I can't get it otherwise. But this bag is not a standalone bag. This is a bag that I may carry with a lightweight kit for a day hike or a 2-day hike that will accompany me with another pack that I would have with me. So don't add comments in the description. You don't have this, you don't have that. This has a lot of different things in it just in case I did get stuck away from my bag or got lost, which I'm not going to. But I did add a few extra little things in this bag. But these were just some quick ideas that I threw in this bag to do a small little food procurement trapping type kit. On the outside of this pack, and I honestly can't tell you what this pack was for. It's got webbing on it to attach it to whatever, but I added a little strap and put a metal small metal bottle on, this aluminum bottle, so you can boil water or have just some extra water with you. I would carry my filter straw in my pocket or some clean filtered water with me, because I wouldn't be going too far from my camp with this bag. I would just be doing a small radius around on some small trails for animals and trapping purpose to get food. I wouldn't go far away. So I would have most stuff with me on my body or close at hand by. But in this, the way this little bag works, and I really like it, is you open it up, and then it's got a small drawstring here that holds everything in to keep anything from falling out. So you could use this bag if you can find one, and if any of you know what it's actually called, you could, or used for, you might could tell me, because I do not know. But a great bag and pouch for a number of things. But of course, got this drawstring here, and you open the bag up, and what I have kind of thrown in this bag for trapping purposes, one, I have a small Berkeley fillet knife in here. I have a small fishing kit. In the fishing kit, I have different size hooks. I also put a pack of matches and a small big lighter in there, as you can see as well. And on this side, there's weights and lures for fishing. In addition, to go with the fishing, I have a small, this is an old Zebco reel that I just painted with some flat green paint. There's pollen sitting all over this table. But I have this small kit, and I left this small eyelet on the end of it to tie the string from going back up inside. But you can take this, find you a good flexible pole, some river cane, strap this down to it, or just hold it in your hand and cast your line out and fish and have your reel. This doesn't weigh very much. A little bulky, but it doesn't weigh very much. Also in here, I have some extra fishing line. It can be used for any number of things, but it's in here for, you know, small trap making or extra fishing line, trot line, anything like that. Also, I have in here a couple large rat traps. Now, I have tried a couple times to catch squirrels in these, and I'm probably doing something wrong. I am not an expert in trapping, by no means. These will catch mice and rats, yes, but squirrels are pretty fast. And I did attempt with the other two traps I had. Wonderful, I got the guy, neighbor, lawnmowing right during the video. So we'll pause for a second and come back. Well, it looks like he stopped for a little bit. Anyway, I tried these with some squirrels that were trying to go in and out of my attic, and they were coming around on one of the carports a lot. So the first time they stole the peanut butter I put on them off. The next time I tacked this down so it wouldn't move and snap, and they got away with the peanut butter again. So I'm not sure. I'm going to try one more thing. I think my springs got a little rusty, and the mechanism may have been too slow to catch them. So, but I know I've seen people trap large rodents and different things with these. I'm going to try again, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to have these in a kit to trap you some food, whether you be in an urban area or in a wilderness area. Also, I've showed this in another video. I have a couple of these in here, but this is some small snares that I made, and I didn't go a lot of detail on these, but I keep an extra lighter in there and a pair of pliers, but I also keep some zip ties to zip tie the main portion of the snare. I'm going to try to show these here a little bit better than I did when I've showed them before. I'm going to pull one out and try to show you. Alright, this is your snare. Now you can go to a hardware store and get this. It's picture frame wire, just some good thick wire. You can kind of see that. On this end, I looped it around and put one of those keepers on there. Now this side, you would stake down or take a zip tie and zip tie it to a sturdy tree. This side, I made a loop and another different kind of keeper that holds that loop in place, and that's why I have the little pliers in there to make sure those are tight. And then that right there, you can see is a penny. And I took and drilled 2 small holes in this penny. You can see that. And bent it just slightly. Now what that does is you open this loop up on the animal trail. This is zip tied to a tree, so whatever's coming through, as they come through, this will grab. And the penny being bent, see, it doesn't open, and the tighter you pull it, the tighter it's going to lock down. And then undo it, you just tilt that penny, and then you can pull this right out. But that's kind of how this little snare works. And what I have made up in a couple different kits is I have a few of these in each kit. This particular one has about 10 of them in it with the zip ties. And if you run out of zip ties, you can of course use fishing line paracord to hold it to a tree or stake it down. But this is all kept in, I keep both of the kits I got like this in an old Hershey's cocoa can. Holds them nice and tight in there, and it also serves as a container if I needed it. In addition to that, I have a pair of binoculars. This is an old extra pair I had around. It's supposedly you can take a picture of with it. I've never used it for that, but you can. Extra pair I had. I have a saw. This is just a Stanley saw that I've replaced it with a DeWalt saw because the other one broke, and I liked this one better. It's the DeWalt saw blade goes in there really good for cutting. I put a pair of, these are just some cheap old rough gloves, old split leather gloves. If I don't want to get my other ones messed up and I'm doing something with a trap, or they're a little thicker than some of the other ones that I have, just dealing with the animal or dealing with the trap sets, I threw these in there. I have a small pill bottle container with some cotton balls with Vaseline on them for tinder to make a fire. Roll of bank line, and I forget what number. This is the skinny stuff, but I like it. It holds great. I have also in here a large set. These are for fishing. They're like nail clippers, but they have the tools on it for taking hooks out, clipping line, things of that nature. I have a large frog gig. Of course, bushcraft wise, you can make this in the field relatively simple if you have the skill to do it, but I threw this in here. Great to have for personal protection from wild animals or wild dogs. You could throw this on the end of a stick in an urban area even and use it to keep something away from you and protect you if you're in that kind of situation. Frogs or what have you. You can use this for a lot of different reasons, so that's why I threw that in here. I also have some small cork for floats for the fishing. Extra zip ties. I have large gallon size Ziploc bags. Now the reason you can put wild edibles in these. They'll hold water, a lot of different things, but the main reason I put them in here is trapping food. If I was out there and it was a little bit bigger of an animal that I happened to procure or fish, I can put the fish in here. I can go ahead and fillet it where I'm at, put the meat in, get the guts out that I don't need, or quarter up a small animal, rabbit, what have you, and go ahead and put it in the bags and protect it from getting flies and things like that on it if I'm going to be out there a little bit longer, or if it's real hot. I can do this. Maybe even put some ice cold water in one bag and put the animal parts in the other bag, and then ziplock it sealed so the cold water is not really on the meat, but it's in there and it just kind of keeps it cold so I can get back and do that. But there's a lot of different reasons you can use Ziploc bags for in there. And I also have a small blade knife I keep in here. It didn't come very sharp. It's a buck knife. I picked it up at Walmart. Not very expensive. Lightweight. I don't even know if this has a name. It's just a buck knife, but I put a better edge on it. It's a good sharp knife when you go back and put your own edge on it. Used for a lot of good things, but it doesn't weigh very much. I added the lanyard to it. And then lastly, this small husky pouch. I put a few things in here just for cleanup and protection, things like that. I got a small bottle of, this is a bottle I added a liquid organic, LOC, liquid organic, I can't even speak today. Liquid organic cleaner. It's good for soap, cleaning your hands, cleaning off anything you need to. It's a great product put out there. That's I keep a small bottle of that on hand. Some nasal spray saline solution. I keep it in there just to keep sinuses clear. If I'm not trying to set up traps and start sneezing or something like that, I kept in there just for sinus issues if it's that time of the year. And then I have some of these instant towels that you add water and you have a big towel just for wiping cleanup. And I've got a small dropper of Clorox bleach, just bleach in here, with on the tape on the outside tells me how many drops per 5 gallon or gallon of water that I would need to sanitize and clean water as well in this little pouch. So just some to be able to have clean water and clean up after I'm messing up. And there's the lawnmower again, just in time. Well guys, that's it for the I guess you would just call it a trapping bag or trapping kit to add to it. Hope that helped give you some ideas of things you could put in some. I'm sure there's some of you out there look at something that I may have left out or forgotten to put in. Got the lawnmower going back and forth, so I'm gonna shut this down. But I did want to say I did forget to put in here my yo-yo fishing reels. I have a couple of those, and I've got those in another bag that I was playing with, and I took them out of here, but I usually do have those in here. Those are great to have. Something I'm going to add to this kit is a gill net, and I might add it to this kit, or at least just have it in a bug out bag, because if any of you guys have been watching the Alone series last year, the people who had gill nets, they ate well, and this year looks like the same thing. Why not have one in there and let it work for you? But anyway guys, remember, you got to go prepared, because you just never know.